If you own an FX3 or an FX30 or you're planning to buy one, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share the cage that I've actually bought for my FX3, why I bought it and how does it actually look, and I try to install it on the FX3. Roll in the intro. Namaskaram peeps, this is Harisha from Melbourne Yatri. This is a channel where I actually share my love towards filming gear. I try to share some tips and tricks that I've actually learned all the way, the editing softwares that I actually use for both photos as well as videos, how do I store and manage them. At the same time, my vlogs, you can say mini documentaries or mini series, or sometimes small filming assignments that I try to do while traveling to destinations, to attractions or restaurants. Yes, I'm a foodie. I love food, so I actually go to a lot of restaurants and actually shoot video there. At the same time, I love traveling, so I actually travel to different destinations, not only in Australia, but also sometimes outside of Australia. I capture all of that and post it on this channel. If you have any comments or any suggestions, please do always drop down. If you'd like to sponsor any of my videos, there are contact details actually in the description of the video for you to reach out to me. A sub to this channel would be awesome. A like would be really great. If you really like the content, you can go ahead and share it with your friends and family so that they can also view it. As the FX3 has been launched 3+ years back, obviously there are multiple designs of cages that are available from different manufacturers out there in the market, and you can go ahead and choose any one of them and try to mount it. You have cages as simple as $120, $150 from newer on Amazon, all the way up to like $350, $450 from Tilta, which gets so many other accessories in addition to the cage itself. Now what I actually picked here, because me being me, and there was an offer running on Amazon because it's a year-end Christmas time, I picked up the SIRUI camera cage for my FX3. My reasoning was pretty simple. It was giving me a base cage, so that's there. It was giving me like a side kind of a handle for it, so that's pretty good. And anything else I actually get in the box is actually a bonus for me, and I did not pay much. I've only paid $163 for this cage. The model number for this cage is... So this cage also comes with a top handle. That was actually part of the offer, and I got, I think, 10 or 20% off because I bought two things along with it. Let me just open it out from the box. That's the SIRUI camera cage for FX3 or FX30, and it comes in a very neat packaging in black. I'm not sure if it's actually black or not. Obviously it's coming from China, as it's a product made in China, and these are all the box contents which are actually out there. So let's see one by one what is actually out there. This is actually a NATO mount. This NATO mount would go on top of your FX30 or FX3, where actually your handle along with audio inputs in it would actually come and fit in. Now what it actually allows you to do is to go ahead and actually use multiple types of NATO rail mounting accessories directly on your FX3, right actually up here. And the next one, which is out here, is this bottom plate used for mounting it on Manfrotto tripods, if I'm not wrong. So it becomes a little bit of a universal mounting arrangement available once you install the cage. Now, if you see the color of SIRUI, if hopefully I'm pronouncing the name properly. There you go, it's focusing. I call it a gunmetal color. Some of them actually call it a gray color or a dark gray color, but looks to be a pretty good machine finished, this one. And the next one is the HDMI one. So they actually provide a HDMI clamp using which you can actually clamp on the HDMI cable entering the socket, so that just in case by mistake if someone yanks the HDMI cable, that actually is not coming out. So it comes with its own Allen key and a bunch of screws with that. The next accessory which is actually out there is the handle itself. Not bad. So the handle comes obviously with a little bit of packaging around it, but again, this is the beautiful gunmetal handle. I'm really happy that I've bought one of these. It looks really cool actually, that gunmetal color. It has an integrated magnetic Allen key in case if you want to tighten up any of these screws up here. It also has, very interestingly, these front side stop buttons. These buttons are actually located here, this one, and they're almost like this NATO rail kind of stop buttons which are there, so that when you're actually trying to mount monitors or anything up there in the front or in the back, so you can actually get two of them. If by mistake they're actually not properly screwed in, they would not immediately fall off. They would just hang in there, and it will actually give you a time to save your equipment from falling off from your handles. A lot of people, including me, have actually sometimes forgotten to tighten up the screws when you put a monitor on top of it. This would really prevent it from happening as a costly mistake. So you do have this 4-pin mount, one up here and one up here. In fact, if you want, you can use any of these to go ahead and put a strap if you're actually having one of smaller shoulder straps for cameras, and which normally have these kind of connectors on it. A bunch of 1/4-inch holes as well as 1/2-inch holes, or 3/8-inch hole if I'm not wrong. On the other side, you have a bunch of 1/4-inch holes and 3/8 of an inch hole actually up here. The design seems to be pretty ergonomic. It does actually have 2 pins to hold on. The top screw is actually going into place of the cage, and it has a pretty industrial design look. I mean, I'm pretty much actually happy having bought this one. SIRUI top handle, good piece of equipment. Then comes in the actual cage itself. Pretty interesting if you ask me. This is how the cage is, and the reason it is actually interesting is the cold shoe mount right up here is actually facing outward. It's not facing inward. For most of the cages, the cold shoe mount, including my A7 Mark IV or my A6700 or my erstwhile G9 Mark II, which I've actually sold. For all of these cameras that I actually owned and the cages that I've actually owned for them, the cold shoe was always facing from the inward. That means from the cameraman side. This is for the first time is actually facing on the lens side. Interesting choice of design by SIRUI. Not sure why they did it. You can see that you have mounting arrangement both on the right hand side as well as the left hand side to go ahead and put 2 screws into the mounting screw holes that are available on the FX3, both on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. And then you have obviously a bunch of 3/8-inch as well as 1/4-inch holes on both the sides. Now, to keep it very industrial and actually lightweight, SIRUI has actually cut down all these places, voids where it does not need it from a structural standpoint of view, and has given us a pretty lightweight cage by itself. Now, the cool thing is this cage can be converted into a half cage. This is a trick that I've seen from one of the YouTubers. You can remove these 2 screws and this whole left side piece becomes a piece by itself, like a half cage. You don't have the right side piece at all. You can just put it aside, and if you want to use the full cage again, all you have to do is put this piece back in and screw in those 2 bottom screws. Well, having said that, on the left side bottom is where magnetic key is, and it's an S. It's almost all says that Superman vibes. But it's not, it's just a S for SIRUI. And the last piece of accessory there is right handle cover. I really like it, especially if you're holding the camera for at least a couple of hours. Then what happens is you would prefer if you had some kind of a grip or a strip going across, or an armband going across your hand, instead of continuously keeping here and trying to use a neck strap. So I always like this hand straps which are there that keep the gear a bit lighter, and then you can keep moving from one place to other place while shooting on the FX3, or if you own an FX30, then in that case an FX30. So let's go ahead and actually assemble it and see how it looks. So first I'm going to put the bottom cage actually up. The magnets used to actually hold this particular yes type of key or a bolt is a pretty strong ones in my view. So you gotta put at least your fingernail or something in these yes groove and yank it out. Otherwise this will be actually stuck here for a pretty long time. You do have a very good padding actually here where the camera touches the frame, just to ensure that there are no scratches actually on the frame itself. You also get a warranty card from SIRUI, just in case if you're looking for one. Take one of the screws, place it on the right hand side, right here on the top, and just give it a couple of turns. Don't completely tighten it till you know that all screws are actually properly in place, because otherwise you'll unnecessarily scratch your FX3 or FX30, and honestly that's not a pretty good feeling to actually have, scratching your new camera. So then next, on the left hand side, you actually have this bottom screw hole. That's what I'm going to use for alignment. I'm going to take the screw, put it in there, and then just again, using the tool provided, just a couple of turns, that much. And now is the time for me to go back and see, if there is any wiggle room somewhere, if it's moving, everything is actually in place, and no buttons are actually getting impinged, there is nothing, I'm trying to scratch off or, impede in terms of looking at it. An interesting thing that I've just noticed that there is an LED tally light right here on the FX3, and the cage is designed in such a way that it does not obstruct it, which is nice. I really appreciate that's what makes a particular design stand out far more than anything else. So I'm now going to tighten up the bottom one, just twist with my fingers. That's it, not too much of a tighten up out there. So I'm going to use one of the smaller nuts, and I'm going to just tighten the one there. Then I would use similarly this corner side there, and then try to tighten up the screw. That's my FX3 with the SIRUI FX3 or FX30 cage. Now after installing this, one of the things that I always check for fit and finish, or for my peace of mind, is the battery door. So the battery door is actually opening up without any challenges, so I can always close it, change batteries, open up batteries, or put a dummy battery in it, and that's not a big problem at all. Now, few things to note on this one. If you use camera mounting straps, then you actually have a strap mounting arrangement up here. You have a strap mounting arrangement here at the bottom. You have a strap mounting arrangement again actually up here. So you have it in 3 places. And IO ports, if I can open up my HDMI port, close it, again open it up. So no challenges actually up there. Obviously there shouldn't be a problem in opening up the IO ports for the USB-C port as well as the camera port, so that shouldn't be a problem there. Okay, close them up. And then you still have these 2 holes on the top that you can go ahead and mount. We're going to mount that accessory next. And the other thing that I wanted to always check is actually opening up the memory cards. So you can easily open up the memory cards, close them up, open up the memory card, and close it back. And then final one, always see if your LCD display is articulating, anything is actually getting in way. Nothing, that means it's solidly in there. I always try to shake it a little bit, not violently, but a little bit, and see if there is any play between the cage and the camera itself. I can't find any play, especially when it's mounted with 3 screws, but when I'm slightly shaking it, I can actually feel the sensor moving in, because the FX3 actually has an IBIS inside it, and I guess that's the reason the sensor actually moves inside. So having said that, the next thing is to mount the hand strap. This is how it's going to look on the FX3. Yeah, pretty comfortable, because it can actually expand based on your hand size. If you're having large hands or medium hands like me, or even smaller hands, you can make it either tighter, or you can actually make it a little bit looser, so that you can ensure that your hand is through and you have a solid grip here and it doesn't fall off. This is pretty good, pretty good for actually shooting even handheld with the help of this hand strap. This is second take. I did not like the way it was before, because this particular armband was actually inside, and that was not giving me enough comfort for the hand, so I swapped it out. So the armband is actually inside, so it's almost like a protector for the skin, and this band is going to come on the outside, the tightening band. It's pretty easy. What you got to do is you got to loop it from inside out. Takes a little bit of patience, but just spare some time, put it from inside out, comes all the way down and actually loops below here like this, and it comes out and actually goes into the buckle. Having said that, the next accessory to mount is this one, the plate. On the top, as you can see, there is actually a curvature on the top for the lens, so we're gonna just align it in that way, put the screws through. Nothing to worry, because they've now tightened up into the screw mounting holes provided, which are right into the chassis of the camera. We did not worry much about it, and this is actually how it's going to look like on the larger camera if you see from the top angle. And the advantage of this is you can start mounting handles like this one, okay, provided by SIRUI or any other manufacturer up there. Apart from that, you can also use multiple NATO rail standard accessories right on the top. And then in addition to that, one thing you got to always remember is, if you want to mount the audio handle that you actually get with the FX3, or the one that you might have actually bought it in addition with your FX30, you got to remove these 2 large screws, remove this whole front plate off, there's just this top piece, and then actually use that one. So you cannot use both of them together. Either you're actually having this and you're using handles like these ones, or you're actually using just the handle provided by Sony along with its integrated audio module on top of it. And that's how you actually have the FX3 fully caged up, having a top handle if you're trying to go for those low shots, having a side arm band if you're trying to shoot for an extended amount of time, or if you'd like to do vertical and actually hold it in this way and this way. I mean, I've seen a very cool top handle from Tilta. To be honest, I was jealous about it, but it was too expensive for me to buy, some 360 plus Australian dollars. Tilta, if you're looking at this video, if you'd like to lend me your FX3 cage, I'm happy to make a review of it. but this is from SIRUI, and what the handle of the tilter can do is that it can rotate. That's the cool thing about that one. So you can do both vertical and horizontal, but well, in this case I actually have this right hand band, so I can always do like 2 points of contact, vertical, or I can do 2 points of contact like this horizontal. So not that much worried about it. Well, that's my initial impressions putting on the cage and the unboxing of the cage for an FX3 or FX30. Please do enjoy the videos. These videos are being produced solely by me and edited by me. Most of the times, like 90% of the times, they're not sponsored at all. For whatever 10% they're sponsored, I'll be pretty honest and let you know up front. Having said that, all the opinions and thought process that are actually shared on this particular channel are completely subjective of my own thought process and sometimes of what I actually understand and summarize of other people actually sharing on the internet, including YouTube. In case if you don't agree with it, that's fair enough. And this channel is my window to sharing my thoughts and opinions with y'all. Until the next video, take care, stay safe, happy snapping.